Coach Nick Tumminello here again with some more smarter ways to train the YTWL circuit. We're going to focus on the Y exercise, or the Y aspect of that shoulder circuit. This is not too much of a tweak, or it's a little tweak. It's not too much of a big change, but it really all has to do with your arm position. So just to demonstrate what I'm commonly seeing, even though the exercise is called a Y, what people tend to be doing these days is bringing the arm straight out in front. Okay? And instead of being more like a real Y. And some people I've seen do both, where they'll go here and they'll do this for 8 or 9, 10 reps, and then they'll go more at an angle. So I completely would recommend against going straight up when you're doing your Y, so this way. And I recommend sticking with this angle. And when you do it, we'll get into a tweak in a second, but here's why. There's no added benefit to putting your arms here than to having them out here. There's only areas for error, because what can happen is you can over-recruit your levator scapula, your trapezius muscles, and actually if you're trying to, by being in this position, you can over-recruit those muscles. And if you're trying to squeeze your shoulder blades together, what will happen is a lot of guys are lat dominant, and they'll bring, as they squeeze their shoulder blades, they'll actually drop and they'll over-recruit their lats, which should have really nothing to do with the exercise. So I'm going to show you a way to actually assure that the lats don't get involved and you maximize the fiber recruitment of the lower trapezius, which is the primary focus of the Y exercise, or it should be anyway. If you look at the angulation, or the angle of the fibers in the lower trapezius, they run at about a 45-degree angle relative to the midline of the body. Okay? So you want to have your arms roughly at a 45-degree angle relative to the midline of the body, and that way you line your arms up with you basically create a vector of resistance that's in line with the fiber orientation. So that's the most effective way to recruit a muscle. Now the other thing is, this is very important. So now we've established why this position is better than this one. And instead of me thinking about pulling my shoulder blades together, if you look at some of the new research, you want to look at, as the scapula reaches forward, the lower trapezius actually want to pull it back in. So we can eccentrically load it. And I actually, to prevent my lats from over-recruiting as well, I want to reach outwards. So basically I'm trying to make my arms long and then lift up. Come back. So I'm reaching out and lifting up. So it's actually better, believe it or not, when you're doing the Ys. I'm not saying that's for all the other letters. We'll talk about that in another post. But for doing the Ys, you don't want to think about driving your shoulder blades together. You actually want to think about reaching your arms out without shrugging. Okay? So out and then back. That's a smarter way to do your Ys.